Hello there! Our topic for today's video is about care of the developing fetus. Prenatal or antenatal is the process of growth and development within the womb from fertilization until birth, known as fetal development or embryology. The stages of fetal development. In just 38 weeks, a fertilized egg or ovum matures from a single cell to a full developed fetus that is ready to be born. In fact, various culture or religions debate the point at which life begins. For ease of discussion, all agree fetal growth and development can be divided into three time periods. First is pre-embryonic, the first 2 weeks, beginning with fertilization, known as germinal phase, the first and shortest phase of embryonic development. Next is embryonic, weeks 3 through 8. The baby's major organs and body parts will gradually begin to take shape, and also the placenta. Fetal, from week 8 through birth. In fetal stage, the major organs and body parts continue to grow. Blood cells, kidney cells, and nerve cells are all developed. Next, we have the fertilization. Is the beginning of pregnancy. Fertilization, also referred to as conception and impregnation. This is the union of an ovum and a spermatozoon. This usually occurs in the outer third of a fallopian tube, termed the ampular portion. Usually, only one of a woman's ova reaches maturity each month. Once the mature ovum is released, example, ovulation, fertilization must occur quickly because an ovum is capable of fertilization for only about 24 hours, mostly 48 hours. After that, it atrophies and becomes non-functional. Because functional life of spermatozoon is also about 48 hours, possibly as long as 72 hours. The total critical time span during which sexual relations must occur for fertilization to be successful is about 72 hours, 48 hours before ovulation plus 24 hours afterward. The ovum is extruded from the Graafian follicle of an ovary with ovulation, surrounded by a ring of mucopolysaccharide fluid termed zona pellucida and a circle of cells termed corona radiata. The ovum and these surrounding cells are propelled into a nearby fallopian tube by currents initiated by the fimbriae. A combination peristaltic action of the tube and movements of the tube cilia help propel the ovum along the length of the tube. Did you know that averages 2.5 ml of fluid containing 50 to 200 million spermatozoa per milliliter, or an average of 400 million sperm per ejaculation? Spermatozoa deposited in the vagina generally reach the cervix within 90 seconds and the outer end of a fallopian tube within 5 minutes after deposition. Spermatozoa move through the cervix to the body of the uterus to fallopian tube by the combination of movement by their flagella and uterine. The hyaluronidase is released by the spermatozoa and dissolves the corona cells that protecting the ovum. Only one spermatozoon is able to penetrate the cell membrane of the ovum. Once it penetrates the cell membrane changes composition to become impervious to other spermatozoa. After penetration of the ovum, the chromosomal material of the ovum and spermatozoon fuse to form a zygote. Spermatozoon and ovum each carried 23 chromosomes, 22 autosomes, and 1 sex chromosome. The fertilized ovum has 46 chromosomes. Spermatozoon carry X and a Y chromosome, XY for male and XX for female. The three factors that affects fertilization. Number 1, equal maturation of both sperm and ovum. Number 2, ability of the sperm to reach the ovum. Number 3, ability of the sperm to penetrate the zona pellucida and cell membrane and achieve fertilization. Once fertilization is complete, a zygote migrates over the next 3 to 4 days toward the body of the uterus. During this time, mitotic cell division or cleavage begins. First cleavage occurs at about 24 hours. It occurs at a rate of about 1 every 22 hours. And by the time the zygote reaches the body of the uterus, it consists of 16 to 50 cells. Over the next 3 or 4 days, large cells tend to collect at the periphery of the ball, leaving a fluid space surrounding an inner cell mass. The structure of this stage is called blastocyst. The cells in the outer ring are trophoblast cells. They are the part of the structure that will later form the placenta and membranes. The inner cell mass or embryoblast cells is the portion of the structure that will form the embryo. Next is the implantation or contact between the growing structure and the uterine endometrium. Occurs approximately 8 to 10 days after fertilization. About 8 days after ovulation, the blastocyst sheds the last residues of the corona and zona pellucida, brushes against the rich uterine endometrium, and settles down into its soft folds. The implantation occurs in the uterus on the posterior surface. If the point of implantation is low in the uterus, the growing of the placenta may occlude the cervix and make birth of the child difficult, or we call placenta previa, because the placenta can block the birth canal. Once implanted, the zygote is called an embryo. I hope you learned something about this brief session. See you next time.